And also the Industrial Revolution played a smaller role because when machinery come into play, they don't really need slaves to do all those hard labors anymore. But so people can always justify like, nah, it's because of the Industrial Revolution. Yes, it is. It sucks because it didn't say anything about discouraging it. Is what is the genesis of this question. Why didn't Jesus condemn slavery?
Now, it is almost impossible for you to say you are loving your neighbor as yourself and you treat someone as a slave.
See, when something bad happens and you stay in silence, you are part of the problem.
Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Celestial Voice Unplugged podcast. I remain Abiodo Bushote and with me is
Afolabi Omolaja.
And today we'll be discussing a very touchy subject, especially for people with the melanin skin.
Very sensitive.
And it's the subject of slavery and what the stance of the Bible on slavery. So over to you.
Thank you for doing the introduction. It's a bit clumsy here. We just started this podcast, the Celeb Voice podcast. I'm trying to relax, I'm trying to be fluid, but over time, we will get there. It might be missing when I go to Shibi. So, I'll just throw it at you straight away. Why didn't Jesus condemn slavery? Because it happened around this time. Let's just start from there.
Yeah, the simple. I'm going to be so Nigerian now because it's going to be like answering the question. And the question would be, did Jesus support slavery? Now, let's look at the teachings of Christ. And one of the very important ones would be where he broke down or where he summarized the Ten Commandments into two. It says, obey the God Almighty, and the famous one we like to use, love your neighbor as yourself. Now, it is almost impossible for you to say you are loving your neighbor as yourself and you treat someone as a slave. These are the teachings of Christ. He teaches, do to others as you want them to do to you. That is the teaching of Christ. If you are a slave master, if you are following the teachings of Christ, you will not want to be treating someone as a slave if you want them to treat you as a slave.
Yes.
So, Christ did not, you might not see a statement where it says, do not have slaves or you might not have that statement verbatim. But from his teachings, can you deduce him supporting or rejecting slavery? His teachings were everyone is equal, everyone is saved, I've come to save everyone. So if he was doing that, in my own opinion, I will submit that he did not support slavery.
Well, I agree that he did not support slavery. And the reason I agree is because there's no scripture or there's no message of him supporting it. But it sucks because he didn't say anything about discouraging it, is what is the genesis of this question. In the beginning. He didn't support it clearly with various message, various wording, like you said, love your neighbor as yourself and all that stuff. But it's a bit challenging to believe like someone, our God has got this light in him, the Son of God, did not say anything about it or condemn it. So and you know that statement that people use now, like staying silent is, what does that say? When something bad happens and you stay in silence, you are part of the problem.
Yeah,
so I'm not saying it right.
It didn't stay silent. Now, we need to understand the concept of slavery to start with. Slavery has been an institution from the dawn of time.
Yes. Even in Africa to Africa.
Before Christ came, Africans have been taking themselves slaves before whites came to infiltrate the market. They just got smarter than us. So, if you look at even the book of Deuteronomy, will give you an insight that slavery has been an institution before the dawn of time. And it was even a way to know who was richer and who was poorer. People that had more slaves pardon us, were the richer people than the people that had less slaves, because then you can have more farmlands, you have more workers to do your work for you. Now, the book of Deuteronomy 24 verse 7 says, if a man is found stealing one of his brothers or people of Israel, because the commandment of Israelites at the time, and if he treats him as a slave or sells him, then that thief shall die, so that we shall plague the evil from amongst us. So even from the old laws that were given to the Israelites, they were discouraged from selling each other into slavery. But sometimes we mix the works of our hands from the works of from the teachings of God. Staying at Deuteronomy, I'll just go backwards also to Genesis and work our way back. When God created us, man and woman he created, he never created, there was no place where God created anyone as a slave. The institution of slavery was created by us, by human beings. So we can't say God encouraged slavery or just encouraged slavery. It was due to the works of our hands. So we were suffering from the works of our own hands. Now, when the Son of God came, he taught us to treat each other as one. So if we were following the teaching, we would have abolished slavery, which was the same way slavery got abolished finally.
Revolutionary industry, but
it was still pushed by the same white people, the British, because the Africans, it was pushed by the missionaries to stop the slavery. So it was still using the teachings of Christ that we got the slavery abolished, because you can't go to the teaching of Christ and arrive at slavery. The only time there is something about obedience when Christ is talking is about marriage, the church and husband to wife. But there was no place where he encouraged it. He always encouraged people treating each other the same way. Do not judge because you will be judged. I've come to liberate. There is one I'm looking for.
Okay, while he's looking for that, just to add to that, yes, the missionary played a big role in the stoppage of slavery. Not however, and also the Industrial Revolution played a smaller role, because when machinery come into play, they don't really need slaves to do all those hard labors anymore. But so people can always justify it's because of the Industrial Revolution. Yes, it is. But if you look at people that were on the floor, preaching the gospel, they're the one that actually did the majority of the job to stop slavery.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Luke 4 verse 18, and it says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to proclaim the good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captive, and recovering the sight of the blind, and to set at liberty those who are being oppressed." So the Bible is preaching about him being sent to liberate people that are being captive, people that are being oppressed. Now, you can't take those teachings and arrive at slavery there. He's teaching about people being free from captivity, people being free from oppression, also preaching about people treating each other as one. So Christ never encouraged it, and it was never created due to the teachings of Christianity. It was created by us. We messed up, just like Eve went to eat fruit, and now we are here. So we can't be blaming it on God. Oh, why did he create the fruit? They created the fruit and said, don't eat it. But we went there. We were the ones that looked at each other and believed that some of us were lesser than the next person. And now we are suffering for our own, just as a certain race suffered more than the other race. Yes.
That's even. We're going to discuss about that later. I'll just move on from that. I just had an idea. We'll move on from that. Okay. Like we said, this is a very sensitive issue. So please, if you're still here with us, we understand. If you want to pause and move on, if you want to cancel us, we understand as well. We just want to enlighten and talk about it.
We didn't start slavery.
Exactly.
So you can't cancel.
Please don't cancel us. We just started this podcast. So the second question, like I said, is very, very sensitive. Why does the whole Christians, and let me be very specific, let's just say Americans, why do they justify slavery in Christianity? But like, I'm being specific now. So I'm talking 100 and maybe 150 years ago, 160 years ago, they quote the Bible as well. They use Jesus, they use this to justify slavery. They're basically like property. Like, look at the color of my skin. They don't look like I can be someone's property. Even me, I'm not property to myself. I'm only property to Jesus.
Yeah.
So, do you wanna talk about it a bit? Or,
I wouldn't say they justified slavery with the Bible because they started.
Let me just be more specific. Because I think those early Christians, especially the Americans, they really do not understand the Bible as well. They just use some scripture in the Bible to justify slavery. So sorry, I need to be more specific.
Yeah.
So I don't want to generalize every Christian. Say it's all Christian that is. No. It's common sense. You do good because it's a good thing to do. You don't do good because the Bible tells you to do good.
Yeah, so going with that idea, obviously in every set of disciples you have the Judas there. So there were people who manipulated the Bible for wrongdoings. That is a given. Some people did that, like quoting out Ephesians out of context.
6:5.
Yeah, quoting that to control their slaves. People did that, and there were also people who were also using the Bible to liberate people. Now, the problem was initially, not everyone, all of us here we can read Bible on our phones now. Yeah. Initially, only people who were anointed as maybe prophets or, so there were very few people who read the scripture itself and interpreted it to the congregation. So it was whatever they said to the people that the people would take.
Literally.
Yeah. But yes, you're correct. There were people that used it to manipulate their slaves because the slaves do not have access to the Bible. So they will read it and tell you, see, the Bible says this, so God is okay with it. But
why should we as black people worship the same master as our slave owners?
So Ephesians
6 verse 5.
6 verse 5 says, slaves or some of you even call it bond servants. Yeah. Obey your earthly masters with fear and trembleness, with sincere hearts as you would Christ.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was going to be that long.
Me too. I think the Judaism, I tried that Judaism in Christmas.
Yeah.
I was able to be saved. Yeah. Just it doesn't be like we deflecting.
Going into slavery, right?
Slavery, yeah. Which is not, I don't want it to be long, it's very sensitive. I'll just ask you questions.
Yeah, once you look at the timer, if you are gotten to maybe like 10 minutes, then we can just start rounding up. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, let's do it then. Okay.
Do you want me? Let me do introduction.
What did you do?